Okay, one of my favorite assignments from this course was the incorporating teacher interview. I like this assignment because even though I was not placed in a classroom, I got to interview my cousin who she works with Spanish speaking children, and she made me realize that I should create an environment that acknowledges and values cultural diversity. As I said before, she teaches English to Spanish speaking students who come from poor backgrounds and struggle academically. So she gave me some good pointers of how to include them inside the classroom with the rest of the learners who know some English, but yeah. Which are found in my interview. I liked learning some of her strategies of how to teach English. Two, it will strengthen my teaching by knowing these strategies. Another assignment was reading the book about Omar and his brother. It deepened my understanding about where students may come from in your classroom. We have to recognize that every student comes from a different background, and they may have a challenging background, or they may be terrified of their background. So we have to recognize that and make activities that doesn't bring fear back into their lives. It strengthened my understanding that we as educators need to be prepared for wherever the student is coming from. It was impactful and one of the best graphic novels I have ever read, and I would recommend it to any other educators to read it because it was helpful to learn that students are coming from different parts of the world and their background is different, and it can be hard at home. I learned for the explained what you have learned about instructional strategies, materials, and assessment techniques. I learned that we need to find instructional strategies to meet the needs of our students, ensuring that students are at their level. I learned that visuals are a great tool for MLs and helps them visualize what you are saying. I included this in my unit project, that visuals are a great tool, and I use that a lot throughout my unit project because it helps MLs visualize and see what you are expecting them to do. Engagement from their peers can help ML learn English and the content better, so like they can be paired up with a higher level student who knows English really well, and then the higher level can be paired up with a below level, and like they can learn based off of each other. Even if the higher level student knows a lot of English, like still can learn from the below level student. I really liked word walls mentioned in the textbook because if MLs are struggling with words, they can look at the word wall to help them write a sentence. I want to include this in my classroom, and I saw my pre-student teaching classroom. They had like a small word wall where it had like a couple words written down. It wasn't a huge word wall, but it was like a few words, and like students can go up to there and like write down or see like what word is up there, and it can help them build a sentence. So I really like that. Explain what you have learned about yourself as a learner. I learned about myself that I have a growth mindset, not just in this course, but other courses too. While I was at my placement, I had my mind open because you never know, your students could teach you something too. So like I taught a lesson about rainforests, and my students did teach me some facts about the rainforest that I did not know. And so I think it's important that as educators, we need to have a growth mindset, and because we can learn some things about our ML students, we can learn some things about our students in general, and we should have a growth mindset because we don't know everything and we're still learning. I also learned about myself that I learn best through taking notes or projects. The unit outline project helped me, actually like challenged me mainly because I had to figure out like how to support ML students throughout my entire project. But I feel comfortable now, and I feel like I could do it again if I have to in the future. But that helped me, and I like taking notes, so like I like PowerPoints and stuff like that, so I can take notes down. Yeah, so I'll explain how this course has contributed. The Christ-like servanthood. This course has contributed to my growth as a future teacher who embodies Christ, because I learned so much through devotions at the beginning of class, what Christ looks like and how we can apply this. Those devotions were really helpful, and I want you to keep doing them for your future students, and I'm going to do them to my future students in the future, because I want to work at a private school and I just think they're helpful. But the only suggestion I would suggest is maybe like doing these devotions like at the end of reading it. You could pray and then say like, what does this mean as a future teacher, and ask your students that, rather than just praying and being done and asking any thoughts or comments about this. I think you should ask the question, what does this mean as a future teacher? How can we apply it to the next step instead of praying and being done? So I think that in the future you could do that and ask it up to open discussion. So I think that would be helpful. And then explain in what ways the future versions of this course might facilitate but greater student learning. I would say more in class discussions rather than break off into little groups. That was helpful, but I would say more in class discussions about our assignments. I would go over our assignments and check our assignments, because you didn't really do that, which I understand, but I would do that just to make us feel good, because we did the assignment and we want to like see credit, and I want you to see it, like, so that you can give us credit. I like the feedback though on the lesson plans and like what we could do differently. I really like the feedback that you gave. I want to do more note taking and like writing down notes, and I feel like you could have explained things better. Most of it was unclear for some, even though we said it was clear. We were just a little lost, and I feel like you could have made it clear a little more. But those were a couple things that I feel like could make this course a little bit better. Overall, it was a great course, but I would suggest more note-taking, even though many people don't like doing that, but I personally like it, and it would help me learn better.